Hi there everyone, my name is Austin Sarabia, and today we're going to be talking about the right to remain innocent, and this is going to be my video presentation, and we're going to be going off the following questions. The first being, mention two scenarios from the book about innocent people whose circumstances had changed once they had spoken with the police. So one of the first scenarios provided by the author in the book was the case that actually involved Na Chang in the year of 2008. The police actually lied to her and said that they would subject her to one of the most minimal punishments if she had admitted to killing her son, although she actually hadn't. She still actually admitted to killing her son only so she can get out of the questioning from the investigators. And from the investigators' point of view, that's really all they want to hear, is somebody admit to killing her son. So they took her admitting it and they actually put her in a prison, and she ended up being in a confined prison for about 3 years. And the charges weren't dropped until the judge actually said so. So the book took place in Massachusetts, whereby a suspect was also misled by more FBI agents into having him make more recorded statements with the promise of the provision of immunity, and the circumstances of that person changed as those statements were used against him by the men that were against him, and they were involved in the recording exercise in the Department of Justice. Second question is, list all the reasons from the book why the author advises against speaking to the police. So the author actually gave us a pretty significant amount of reasons, but I'll just give you guys a few. So the first reason that the author actually gives this advice on speaking to police in public is that they actually rarely admit to ever being at fault of something. They'll never really come true or admit when they make some sort of mistakes, and they say they're not really, and the author is saying to not approach officers because these situations can be more tragic, or can end up being highly tragic, or end up in being more unforeseen eventualities. And it's always more advisable to never speak to the police in public, sadly, and therefore police officers play a more larger role and the law system, which is usually more characterized by situations whereby the decisions of the judges and the juries, which are more significant in the determination of the legal issues, and being more highly impacted by prejudices and assumptions that can be more irrational. And lastly, the final question we're going to be answering is, what does he advise people to do if they are asked to speak to the police? So the author James Duane advises people on first attempting to discern the reason as to why a police officer might actually want an audience with them. And he actually, I quoted him, and he said, if you are ever approached by a police officer with those two questions and your God-given common sense tells you that the officer is being reasonable and asking for an explanation, to not be a jerk. Don't be a jerk. So the identification of the reason as to why the police officer might want the identity and the reason to why the victim might be at that place and at that time will help him in more preventing the occurrence of altercations as well, which might result in more arrests in the long run. Alrighty, that's going to be it. Thank you.